Hello, folks. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Good. Well, folks, I got an interview with a lady here, and she is an IFBB pro. And this lady saw her story about a week ago, where she announced that she is now retiring from the sport of competitive bodybuilding, but she's still going to be in bodybuilding as a trainer and coach. She's a lovely lady, been following her on for a long time. This is, if I want to make sure I get her name right, this is the lovely Miss Gina Cavaliero, if I got her name right.
Cavaliero. Yep, close.
Well, what is it? Say it so I can get it right next time.
Cavaliero. So it's kind of like the car. You remember the Chevy Cavalier?
Yeah, yeah. You remember the old Pintos? That was so. As you know, she, as you said again, as I said earlier, she announced her retirement from career as bodybuilder. She was planning to compete this year, but circumstances is just the effects of life, and I can understand what she's going through. So as we got her here, tell me, the lovely lady, tell me how you get to the sport of muscle and masculinity.
So, I mean, how did I get into it?
Yeah.
I've always wanted, even when I was a little kid, I was fascinated with muscle, and one of my favorite things to do was to watch bodybuilding with my dad. I'm going to show my age here, but remember back on Wide World of Sports, Saturday afternoons, they had bodybuilding,
Yeah, ABC, NBC used to show it, yeah. You're not showing your age. I grew up about, I remember back then, you used to catch bodybuilding on television, or in cable.
It was amazing, so we watched Arnold and Lou and Frank and so I just fell in love with the sport at a young age and always wanted to do it. And I dabbled with it in my late 20s, never did a competition, just kind of lifted and learned a lot about the sport. And then later on in my 40s, I was at the gym and was talking to a bodybuilder trainer, and she's like, "Hey, you've got a great shape, you do really well." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, okay. She's like, "I can train you." So either she had a good eye or it was a really good line to get a client, because it worked. I started working with her, and that was it. There was just once I set my sights on it, the day I decided I was going to be a bodybuilder, I wanted to be a pro. So that was my goal, and the rest was history.
Yeah, so maybe I think the last few years, there's been a growing number of women who come into the sport, just not men and women come into sport later in life. I think they, I've talked to one lady who got in sport she was almost in her 30s. I did an interview with one woman she's 40, she's almost 40, and she's a competitive amateur, and to have the passion for a sport, a lot of people don't understand that. It's not about, as the mindset of most people thinking of it about bodybuilding is about, steroids and pumping iron, but there's more aspects to it, like consistency, following a diet. To do this sport, you have to have a real passion for it. Not everybody can do it. If it was easy, anybody else can do it. We got people coming through here. My man Sean McMillan. Gina is gorgeous. You got a fan here.
Thank
My
you.
man Kale the Wanderer. Hi George. Hi Gina. Wish you the best as a coach. Also, he says this. Get her name right, George. Yeah, but I got it. Okay. All right. And my man Omar Costa. He says, "Hello, Gina, my beauty." And also this is from KL when bodybuilding is going to come back on TV. Well, the thing is, it's not, because it's seen as a fringe sport. Some sports, as most time are going to get more attention because of the fact of the mainstream popularity, like football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and even the sports that are considered not really mainstream get popular. Like you go, what now? I remember one time, used to watch World's Strongest Women on ESPN, and they dropped that, and then you're watching cornhole and darts. Now, bowling's been around for years, but now you got guys putting your poker on television. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I know a friend told me how that bodybuilding is a poor man's sport. What's your thoughts of that?
Poor man's sport, certainly in earnings. I mean, you have to be the elite in the sport to really make a living at it. It's an expensive sport, so really it takes more than a poor man to do it. I mean, the the expenses we have, in training and supplementation, coaching, getting to shows, competing with this hair, makeup, for women, hair, makeup, and guys don't have that. Tan suits, run thousands of dollars. So it's a poor man's sport in the sense that you're not going to make a whole lot of money with it, probably, unless you're probably in the top 1%. But it definitely requires a lot of money.
Yeah, because I know what conversation I people with, especially when I did it with ladies, how like your suits will cost you about at least about $500 to $600 to $1,000, especially you have to get jewelry on. Your hair and makeup, that's one thing. Uh, Food, travel expenses. I know some competitors they try to. I know I got a friend. She tell me that she do Airbnbs because she likes to cook before the show
Right.
because she don't want to, because most motels don't let you cook too much unless you go to a motel or hotel that has a already made kitchen. And then with the guys, all they got to wear is a banana hammock and and tanning and maybe do some work in the hair. But most time, most guys, you got guys who shave themselves about But it's just that's the thing is that I think you ladies, the cost of it is more. I think a little bit more on you because as I said again, it's just one thing is I feel like this as a professional athlete it should be, better paid for you. Prize money should be better. I mean, you go to a show. I know you went to Olympia with Hella, and Heidi he walks away with $400,000, while Andrea, she gets $50,000, and that's just, I would say at least get a little more than that.
Yeah, it's like almost a 10% of what the guys earn. Um, so it's been like that since this, women's bodybuilding came on the scene. It's never been proportionately the same as men's. And unfortunately, we put in the same amount of work. I mean, it's no different for women, building the muscle. I mean, unless you can argue that it's actually more difficult. Prep, we work just as hard, and we have maybe more expenses for showtime. I think maybe the difference for men in having greater expenses is probably they consume more food and use more pets, so
Hmm.
they have a higher, expense there. But when it comes down to that money though, it's sponsor money and it's ticket sales, right? That's what's generating the prize money. And unfortunately, women don't fill seats. I mean, not the bigger women. We don't see it with women's physique. We don't see it with women's bodybuilding. And the smaller you get, the more people are in the crowd to support those athletes. So um, I don't know what the answer is to, what's the solution to make that any different. You
Hmm.
know, we have a niche group of fans. You know,
Yeah, as you know, as we are called schmoes, because you know what, we are excited about you ladies. Because I remember I used to be when I was younger, I used to be on this it used to be a chat room. We guys come in, we chat about ladies, and one guy said like this: "When your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard." And and it's just we just I think aspects that we admire you ladies for your commitment, compassion for the sport. Because it's like one thing, like I'm from the South, I'm from North Carolina. Our women are a little bit more full of figure, a little bit more shapely. Like, and most women, the idea of femininity is, hips, thighs, breasts, everything that makes a woman feminine. And to transform that by putting on muscle, I think some people are kind of like, it's just kind of shock and awe by it. But us who are fans, we admire that because, like I said, even though you may not be the woman that people think of, but you're maybe not be a cup of tea, but to us, we love you, we respect you, we admire you. We got a man here, my man, KL, always talking shit. Be a bodybuilder, George. No, too late. I'm too fat now. It takes too many years. I'm slowly shedding off what I have here now, but it
never
takes
too old, George.
I,
Never.
I, I know, but I'm too stubborn in my ways. And and he also says, when bodybuilding, also we got here, my man Balls Deep. Oh no, Balls Deep. Salute and what up, chat. Also, Balls Deep. Give him thumbs up to. He said, Gina, you go, girl. He's a fan of yours. Also, my bad about the last live. My phone died. That's all right, brother. I understand. And also, It's cool to come through next time. That's from KO the Wanderer. And also, I don't ask this for anybody, but I usually don't ask this, but he says, flex for me, baby girl. I mean, I don't usually don't ask somebody, so you don't want to feel comfortable. I won't ask you that. But that's just that's for
Here
yeah.
we go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's what you get for your kid. I usually don't ask anybody that, but every so often, balls to you is pretty good. And also, my man KL says, I like female bodybuilders wearing dresses. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Folks, as you
So
know,
I
yeah, I've seen. I mean, I've seen some really pretty women, very pretty female bodybuilders, and very just something about it, just wearing dresses and anything else, outfit. Y'all look beautiful. It doesn't matter. If you're in your posing suit or in a
we are
dress. Yeah,
collectively beautiful.
yeah.
We're just women with muscle, you know.
Yeah, I think one thing I think guys get intimidated by the muscle, but I remember when I went to my first show, I went to Savannah because I told you earlier, I saw Savannah, went to Savannah, saw Irene, and for me being there, my first time, I was like, I was kind of shy too because get to talk to these ladies and to speak with them, and see these ladies. I remember like Sheena Oleg, I did an interview with her about a couple years ago. I get to talk with Sheena, to talk to people like Alita Popa, and these ladies who I follow on social media and been fans of. I mean, it was just as me, it was just kind of like I was having my moment, but I try to keep myself together. I didn't want to be too small. It's like, yeah, I'm a big fan, but folks, like I said again, if you want to check out Gina, her social media description, reach out to her. Show your support to her as she's going to a new path in her new career. But this is the rule, guys. I tell you guys, and I know no D-pics. Stop it. Get some help. Don't do that. Women don't like that shit. No, just stop it. Think about it before you do it. I know you love these ladies. You get excite you, but stop that shit. Now, folks, we're gonna show the if you missed it, this is was her where she announced her retirement. This is about I think it was last week, and like any other person, I think when we hear like it's been like I think it's like a kind of been a bad year for bodybuilders. So that we have a lot of people who have dropped out, retired for whatever reason. But this is from Gina.
So hey, wanted to touch base with y'all and give you an update. What's been going on? Why I've been pretty absent here on Instagram the last couple of weeks. So a couple weeks ago, just had a feeling pretty crappy. And went to the doctor. Fortunately, I found out that very high blood pressure. Kind of thing that you really don't have any clues or indications. So fortunately, went to the doctor and found out, and ended up in the ER. A couple times just because it was dangerously high, like stroke or heart attack. So not good. It's better now. Being controlled with medication. Not exactly what I had hoped for. I never wanted to be on meds or something like that. But it's necessary at this point. So, but what that does mean for me is that I have to retire competing, and I choose that word carefully. Have to because it's not exactly my choice right now. I had hoped this year, hopefully do Masters. So hey, I wanted to touch base with y'all.
Yeah, and it stopped right there because you say you were planning on doing Masters Olympia, and that's the new show's coming up. That's coming up in August, and I know you probably
I was hoping to get an invite to it. And also I was looking at doing Spain, which is like 2 weeks after Masters Olympia. Being that I'm over here in Dubai, the shows in Europe are more accessible for me. So, it definitely wasn't what I was planning. I was hoping to compete a couple more years, really, at least. But we always say, you hear this phrase all the time in our sport, health first, and it is what it is. Could I potentially pull off a prep? Maybe. I'm the compounds, the drugs I would have to take to be successful, to get the conditioning that I would need to be at the level that I compete at. It would be risky, and it's not worth risking your health for a few minutes on stage. I mean, as much as I love being on stage, I mean, don't get me wrong, it has absolutely been one of the highlights of my life. I love to compete. I love the process. You know, it's a lot of competitors you'll hear they hate the stage. They love the process. They love getting there, and then being on stage, they don't like it. For me, the second I stepped on stage the very first time, they were kind of like, okay, get off. You're done. Get off. I'm like, no, I want to stay. So, um, but the universe and God has some other plans for me, and make the best of it.
Yeah, like I said, that's how about life. Life would throw curves every now and then, obstacles, but sometimes those decisions or those things that happen are for a purpose. Like one thing as I was saying, like I've been having situations, especially my genetics. My family we have like issues with blood pressure and stuff like that, and I can understand that. I'm also taking medication, but one point I was taking care of my mom because she got sick, and I quit my at first I quit my job because they had me doing stuff that, hey, I'm not no young I'm no spring chick. I turned 40 years old that day, had me doing pork shoulders onto a conveyor belt. I seen I wasn't going fast enough for them, so you know what, I'm done. My mom had her first seizure, and you know what, after that I took care of her for about 5 or 6 years till she passed away. And that was the reason why it happened, why I did what I did, because you know what, she needed me when she needed me the most. And I can understand that. I know you have a passion for a sport. I know you love to be on stage and present your body. It happens quite often. And I know a lot of competitors who have to walk away, especially for the fact it was for issues of their health. I know they hate to do it, but you know what? Your health is more important. The sport's always going to be here. It's going to be here. And if you ever, like I said, maybe somewhere down the road, you say, you know what? I think I got to go under control. You can always come back whenever you want to, but I think it's more important for you to take care of yourself more than anything. We got
Absolutely.
here, yeah, we got here. Ballsy says, she's sexy and swole as AF. Oh, you got these guys cited. We get girls like in here. We get any you ladies come in here, these guys act like guys in prison, like you're like you're new, like fresh fish on the line, So George got a new girl, she fine as a motherfucker. So and they act like that because that's about these guys. We love your ladies. Also got here, God's will. I too love female bodybuilders. They work so to get into shape. Yeah, and respect that. Also, Ballsy says she's quitting. No, no, she's not quitting, Balls Deep. She's worried about her health first. She's still in the game.
Difference.
Yeah, she's still in the game, but she's not. She's working the background. She's helping the next up and comers in the sport. And also, how many inches are your biceps? That's what my man KL wanted. So, like, what's it? I know you get that question often asked a lot by guys. Like, when you're in prep, when you're conditioning, when you're shredded, what's your size compared to when you're off season?
When I'm shredded, they're about 15 inches. Off season right now, they're probably like 16. Off season, forever perpetually in off season now. So when I'm not shredded, 16 and a quarter, 16 and a half.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And also, we have here, God's will says female bodybuilders are badasses. Hey, Gina, he's actually Netflix. She already flexed, so you missed it already.
Missed it.
And yeah, you missed it. You should have been here earlier. I've seen female bodybuilders in movies. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we talked about earlier where we remember there were people like Corey Everson. She was in the Van Damme movie, a couple other movies. Um, Ray Holett. She did Skin Deep. Remember Skin Deep with John Witter? Yeah,
I don't
it was like
remember
you never seen it. It was out about a good part of the '80s. Ray Holder has a part. You remember he was zapped from the American Gladiators where she's posing and she gets naked. And for us guys, who kind of excited to see something like that. But like I said, you're doing pretty good with yourself because you're working with other people. I know you work with people like Leah Denny, because I follow Leah Denny. Me and her talk back on IG. She's a great lady. I've been trying to get her for an interview. She just did an interview with Dave a while back for Female Body Forum. I watched yours interview with Dave. Dave's a pretty good dude. I mean, guys like us, like me, Dave, Dee Dee on the spot, the Female Bodybuilding channel, we giving y'all ladies a voice. Because if you look on like social media, especially on YouTube, there's 11 million channels dedicated to mostly men's bodybuilding, where there's so few where to give y'all ladies opportunity to share your voice.
We appreciate it.
Mhm. Well, we're welcome. So we're going here. Also, we are looking on social media earlier. She might have a future in something else. As I was watching, I was going through here, and it looks like it might. You never know. Like I said, a lot of the fringe sports are not as popular. Like here, she's doing an arm wrestling competition.
I might get into that. I would never do it before and risk, an injury that would compromise getting on stage. But I'm actually considering that and MMA.
MMA.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it. So, and where I train here in Dubai is a huge MMA gym. So I already had somebody who'd love to coach me. So you
Yeah.
never know. You might see me doing some fighting.
Well, like you said, on my channel, I also talk about MMA because I'm a big mixed martial arts fan. I do most of, like I said, most of my content is about the women in mixed martial arts. I just did a live stream where I talked about, as you know, recently, Valentina Shevchenko. Wait a minute, we see Valentina Shevchenko lost her title to to Alexa Grasso. And I know one person, she used to compete in mixed martial arts and boxing, and that's Jay Fuchs. Jay used to box, and also she did Muay Thai. I remember she fought a fighter that by the name of Jermaine Durandamy back a long time ago. And I think a lot of ladies, they do some women do some wrestling and stuff like that, but they do it as the way we make money. As you know, this is like it's said earlier, the sport is not as lucrative, and some women have to wait to make income in between competitions. Some women do have jobs and work as trainers. Like I know Leah, she works in the corporate world. I know a couple of ladies working have other jobs, but as you know, for someone to make money, they do something as OnlyFans. They do her biceps, yeah, or as I call them, the because it's your fan base is mostly guys. The beat the meat websites, that's what they are, you know. But have you ever considered for yourself, or you feel like, nah, it's not my thing?
Not my thing. No, I had a her biceps page, and I maybe spent a week on it. I just, I'm not comfortable with it. I've never done any nudity. You'll never find a naked picture of me online. I don't care to do sessions. No uh, judgment on any of the girls that do. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, I think like I said, it's up to the person. I mean, some people, if you feel comfortable doing it, that's your choice. But if you don't, you shouldn't have to do it. This is a question that we just answered Ballsy's question. He says she got OnlyFans. No, she does not. So so
I
just say,
actually do have one, but I can't access it here in Dubai. It's illegal.
so she
So,
actually, yeah.
but there's no there's nothing, no like crazy sexy content on it.
No.
It was basically more or less the pictures that weren't deemed good enough to make the cut on Instagram. So they got to see a little more of me in my everyday life, um, and but again, nothing saucy. And that's what they wanted. I mean, my inbox was full of, "Hey, will you send me nudes? Can I see your?" And I'm like,
Ooh,
no, just not doing it.
yeah.
They offer a lot of money too. I mean, nope.
Yeah, and no, like I said, money's not everything, but hey, sometimes it can help out a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it's funny how you have on one spectrum, you have the guys who say, "Hey, Gina, we like to see your butt naked," and then you have the other spectrum, the guys say, "We don't want to see that. We don't feel comfortable with that." And it's funny, there are guys who kind of walk in between that line where they say like, "Okay, like they look at your DMs. They go, you see guys saying like, I like you, Gina. I think I like to, meet you someday." And then when you are on your regular in IG, you saying, "She's trying to be a man." Yeah, 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 yeah. It's dudes. It's just this is a woman. It's a woman. She's an athlete.
I
And
always said that if you've got haters because you've got so much muscle, then you're doing something right.
yeah. Well, like one of my favorite characters was Silky. I got a character, Silky Johnson, played Head of the Year, and he often says, I think I got him here, like this is like the other guy. Like sometimes some people don't like things different. They don't like how things are not as they keep them in their ideology. And it's just some things just whatever is makes you stranger, makes you stronger. That's the other guy. That's the other guy. I think it's up to you how you feel comfortable by yourself. It's funny how us guys who are fans, you ladies, we are particularly saying, "Hey, you gay? You into dudes?" Like, oh no, I'm not. I'm not into guys like that. Now, like I said, when I was coming up, I was big fans. Got Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Heaney, and I grew up, like I said, I grew up a part of the '80s, and Papa TV show about there was He-Man and Thundercats, and they had the big muscular dudes.
Right.
And then the women was like, especially when I was coming into age when I was getting to my teenage years and getting older, and y'all women just like people like Corey Evans and Rich McLeish, Carla Dunlap, Linda Murray, and Iris Kyle. Those women were I was just amazed and awed by them. And that's why, like I said, on my channel, I really do good about the content. Because, like I said again, y'all ladies need a voice. Y'all don't get the opportunity to people to understand that. Like I said again, you are a woman, you're an athlete. And you're in the sport because you have a passion and love for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, this is the thing in my mindset like this. Is they had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic last weekend, and I'm going to quote one of my favorite. And my man KL and Balls Deep know one of my favorite movies is the whole Batman Begins Chris Nolan trilogy, and it's been like almost 10 years ago. When Arnold decided to walk quietly behind a bodybuilder and stab him in the heart. And he did it again with men's physique, and he did it again with figure. And you're thinking like this, especially figure, which is supposed to be a little bit more a feminine division, you think that it wouldn't get that same, stink eye like physique and women's bodybuilding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what's happening there. I mean, 212 got kicked to the curb too.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. It seems like the Arnold Sports Festival has a bigger focus on other sports now. It's, started out as a bodybuilding event, but there's hundreds of different types of events. I mean, the slapping thing got more attention than the bodybuilding did last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think you may Courtney Olson. She just did a slap contest. She got slapped so hard, the girls flipping on the floor, and that's got popular. Remember, a few years ago when they say they bring in pole dancing in. Say pole dancing. Say one of my jobs. I used to have a couple of jobs when I was younger. One of my first jobs I used to work in a gas station when I was 16. I worked until I was till I was 30. Then I used to work at a textile plant until they fired me, and then I used to work at a strip club, and and the last thing I remember, my favorite comedian said, Chris Paul said, the last thing a daddy want to see is daughter wearing clear heels and being on that pole. But it's just funny how they're pushing out women's bodybuilding, but you can go and see people slap each other and pole dancing. It's one thing you see powerlifting because that's the aspect of bodybuilding. But you go in there and say, hey, you might say, damn, I forgot my ones.
I don't know. I don't personally get it or agree with it. I think it being the Arnold and one of the mainstays in the sport, that it should be one of the ones that should be, promoting the entire sport and all the divisions. Props to Jake Wood and Wings of Strength, bringing back Masters Olympia and all 10 divisions. So
yeah, and Jake Woods, he's doing good things for bodybuilding. As you know, they dropped the I think they're supposed to be dropped. They dropped the ambassador program. I think they're supposed to go in no direction with that. I don't know the whole details of it.
Divulge where that's going yet, but they would get like thousands of applications. It was probably getting hard to sort it out. And a lot of work and manpower just to figure out who is going to be awarded that. And, essentially it's a sponsorship. So what it should come down to is they should just select who they want to sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know some friends who I've become friendly with who say like they liked the ambassador program because it gave them a place they can sponsorship. also a little money you can have, because sometimes that what's it, $2,000-3,000 you might get paid depending on where you are
Right.
on the chopping block, and work the booths, get to meet people. I got to meet Donald Salib when I was at Savannah, and me and Donald been talking a good bit on the on IG. Met another person whose name I do not speak on my channel. Her name is SF, so we don't talk about her. You know, and just as a fan, to see y'all ladies, get a somebody to support you. Um, Also, as you know, the Rising Phoenix is the only show in which pretty much all the female divisions, from women's
Right.
bodybuilding to physique to fitness to figure wellness, even bikini, you have your own stage. You don't have to share it with the banana hammocks, and the
Right.
board shorts. You have your own stage. But the problem is, I think the last time I think you say it was hard to get sponsorship, because this is like this. If you know anything about the Pippin community, the bottom bitch, which is men's bodybuilding, are the ones that bring in the money. And and the men, they bring in the money. Everybody were most sponsors don't. If you have a men's competition, if it's men's open, men's classic, hell, even 212, sponsors would throw money at it.
Yes.
But if it's just the ladies, even bikini. If you got bikini and wellness, who's as I call the TNA divisions, you'll think, okay, you think you maybe support that a little bit more. But if there's no men, and it's funny how they call guys like us who are a fan of women gay, but then the guys who are a fan of the guys, you think you should be a little bit like, I mean, what's that? I mean, come on, you telling me, okay, you like to see a guy wearing tiny shorts with big old muscles, but you don't like to see a woman with a nice physique and a nice body. It's just me. I just me. I mean, I respect these guys, but hey, that's not my thing. I
A lot of sexism.
hmm Well, like I said, it's a double standard. I think with one thing is like, even on that end, the guys still make money in the fetish part of it. Because I remember, um, this is I think this guy is Big Keith. Good cool guy. He really helps me out with stuff for information. How he told me years ago how Jake Cutler was he used to sell his shirts and stuff to guys. And then one time Jay sold a shirt to a guy and he sprayed water on it. And then the guy said, "It smelled like you." And he said, so what Jay had to do was, like, every time he worked out, he had to wear like 3 or 4 shirts just to make sure he has enough. But like I said, but as competitive, and you've seen how this sport has gone over the years. What would you, in your mindset, what would you like to see change in the sport?
Um, I don't know. If we look back in the history of the sport in 2014, when women's bodybuilding was dropped, um, a lot of people will say the reason that occurred is that the women started looking too masculine. And when we say that, we're not talking about musculature. We're talking about virilization, right? Getting masculine features. And I'm afraid we're headed that way again. I'm seeing it with the younger girls. Um, quite frankly, this is a long-term sport. There's longevity. It takes years and years and years to build the mass that we need to be competitive at the professional level, unless you do a ridiculous amount of drugs. And unfortunately, there's side effects with doing that. You can do it safely, conservatively, and appropriately, and gain that muscle over a longer period of time and still look like a woman, right? We don't get square jaws. We don't develop these male features, but it's happening again. And I'm afraid it'll be the demise of the sport again, because quite frankly, nobody wants to see a woman who looks masculine on stage. They want to see beautiful women with muscle. And I think that's what saved the sport. And the girls that were competing in 2014 and 15 were very aware of what happened, and they really made an effort to change that trend in the sport. And we have absolutely gorgeous role models at the top of the sport to follow: Andrea and Hella and Margie. The top ones in bodybuilding. They're beautiful. Um, but we're starting to see this virilization happening again because girls are so eager to put on that mass. And if you're going to put on 20 pounds of muscle in a year, guess what? You're going to get some wicked side effects. And Not to mention it's going to compromise your health. You know, Th- there's safe ways to do what we do, safer, I should say, and there's some really unsafe ways to do it. And um, I would like kind of the spotlight to be shown on on that, and prevent that trend from happening again, and it damaging the growth of the sport.
Yeah, because one thing was that physique was supposed to come in as being the new version of female bodybuilding, where it's supposed to be more feminine, more conditioning, more more symmetry. But even that division is getting to the point where the lines are getting blurred. If you like you said, I know you, yeah, because you went to Olympia and you saw how much Natalia has gotten bigger compared to Sarah. She was in condition, but she came in a little softer. I remember this happened back in 2005 with Iris Kyle when she competed, and then she said they told her, "Hey, come in a little softer." She came in a little softer, but she lost Gina and Keenan was shredded. And then this happened with Sarah and Natalia, because Sarah, they told her, "Hey, Sarah, come in softer, come a little feminine." She still can maintain some of her shreds, but not too much of it. But then here comes Natalia. She comes in huge,
And
and
shredded.
yeah, and you I know you back there, you saw her, and
Yeah.
she comes big, and then she wins. I said, wait a minute, you want this division supposed to be more femininity, but this is a debate about femininity. This is my opinion, maybe just me as being a fan and just a guy looking outside, but femininity, I think one thing is judging. It should be like a very small fracture of it. It should be about as you as an athlete when you come in conditioning your shape. But
Sure.
we all know that the judges, they have so much control. There, you see shows where one girl comes in, she comes in soft. She shouldn't. You wouldn't think she's going to win, but then you come in one girl and say, wow, she should be winning. She's coming in great condition. But then the girl who comes in the not as condition wins, and then the girl who's in better condition takes second or third. Or then next show you turn around, you see it that the girl who was less conditioned, she comes, and then the girl who in better condition comes, and this time the girl who deserves to win wins. We got here a man Omar Acosta. He says, "Urgent need a female bodybuilder for me." Well, keep looking, brother. You might get one. Good afternoon, Gina, George, and everyone in the chat. That's from my man Lawrence Perkins. We got here this guy here. I don't know how to say his name. He says, "Hey, mama." My man God's Will says, "I'm going to watch a lot of female bodybuilders on TV shows every day. If you can find some, it's hard to find any." Also, this is Oscar. Yeah, I'm not saying his whole name. He says, "Sup," which is Oscar, and he says, "Venezuela meets you." Say, okay, so he's from Venezuela. Wow, hey, wow, I'm getting the, hey, why I put, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm getting the smokes coming out. Oh wow, this one you will really like. This is the female bodybuilding channel. Hey Gina, hey George,
Hey,
and I think
AJ.
yeah,
JB.
yeah, JB, because most times AJ, I actually a while back I got a call from AJ. He was telling me what I need to do, and I say okay, and give me some good advice because I appreciate guys like that who give my channel a shout out. Because like I said again, y'all ladies, you do truthfully need a lot of support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, folks, this is a great opportunity to talk to this lady, and and her taking the time and talking with me. I know she's busy. She got coaching. She got things to do. I mean, the sport of bodybuilding, is going on. It's like this. What we should do, and what people should do is like this. If you're someone out there who's interested in maybe promoting female bodybuilding, who wants the shows, more shows for his ladies to compete in, more opportunities for them. You should come to guys like us. I wish I had the financial way to do it, but I only have a voice, and this is why I'm using my platform, my voice. We should reach out to the people who like promoters who are not like there's sometimes there's shows that might only have one or two divisions, and it'd be like maybe bikini or men's open, but no women's bodybuilding. We should come together, and say, you know what, we want to see women's bodybuilding, have a platform at your show, and I know a while back Sarah, she wanted to do women's physique at the Arnold, but
She
for
offered
I
to
don't,
fund it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's offering $20,000. I mean, $20,000. Come on, it's not money coming out of your pocket or your promoter's pocket. It's something
Right.
that somebody's offering you.
I
But
mean, but that's really what the issue is, right? It comes down to money. So, in order to have a division at a show, the promoter has to pay a sanction to the IFBB to have that division, right? So that's somewhere between I think $8,000 to $12,000 per division. So not small change, right? So if female bodybuilders or women's physique only get, you know, sell 50 tickets, there's the problem. So you guys that like us and support us and do it online, go to the shows. We need people in the seats. That's
Mhm,
what would make the difference.
mhm. And also, it said again, sponsorship. I mean, if if like a coalition of guys come together, fans say, okay, let's get 20 people together, and let's put up maybe a couple $1,000 a piece. Now that's $40,000. That's enough to cover the sanction expenses. Also put in prize money. I mean, it's just, and also you go to the promoters and say, okay, we have a contract, we have this, we want to, this is what we want to do. We want to sponsor women's bodybuilding. And also, if you guys are interested in sponsoring female bodybuilding, be genuine interest. Don't be this guy saying like, "Hey, Gina, I see some of your stuff on social media. I seen your pictures. You're really buff chick. You really, you know what? Can you do me a favor? I do you a favor." No, stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. Do this. You say, "Mrs. Cavaliero, I want to sponsor your next competition. So if you everything you need from me, whatever, this for your plane ticket, for your hotel stay, to buy your suit, even if you need just a little something to help you,
That would
I'm
be,
happy to help you."
I can't tell you how much time I've really wasted on social media and people that um, offer that type of thing, and really they never pan out. They just want to engage with you, get you to respond. To the point, they probably spoil it for the actual legit guy that's willing to do it, because most of us are just like, it's another guy just trying to scam me for my time, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, support us. I mean, a lot of us, we don't make money doing this, and even if we do win, some of these smaller shows where you might make enough to cover your airfare and hotel.
Yeah,
And
and also that's like three, $5,000 is not much by the time you know you didn't know you got to pay taxes too, and that's a anything death and taxes. Those things are never are unavoidable. But like I said, this is what I think some people should do, and I know really some people should come out. I know guys, you spend money doing sessions. Hey, that's money you can. Hey, you can just say, hey, ma'am, I can. If you need something from me, if okay, I'll send you this. Be genuine about your interests. Don't be like I said. I know guys, you get excited by these ladies. You think they're beautiful. They are beautiful, but these women, they go through a lot. They have people ostracize them for who they are as athletes and competitors. They have people saying, making comments about them, and people want to take advantage of them. And sometimes don't stop doing that. Just be someone saying, you know what, I want to see an athlete grow and to continue in their path. And we talked about earlier what the thing about how these younger athletes is, when you're youth, they're impatient. When they're impatient. They want everything, like the young generation, they want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. But it takes time to, like I said, I think some competitors, when you hit your, like, if you look at, we talk about Andrea, and I say, Andrea, I love Andrea. She's such a beautiful woman. Oh my God. I've spoken over Andrea. She posted something on for Women's Day. I mean, I say, oh my gosh, she's a beautiful woman. And women like, Hella and Irene and Margie and those ladies are hitting their muscle maturity now. And I know Hella, she could, we weren't sure that she was going to peak because of the shoulder injury and surgery, but she surprised us. She did pretty good, you know. And other ladies in the sport, it takes time to get to that level. Like Baraka Nadjokovic, she's not from retirement, and Baraka looked great. I'm telling you. I mean, he was great, and but it takes time. But like I said, if you're gonna, like I remember there's a story years ago. It was this social scientist where he had tested. He did like a survey with some Olympic athletes. He said like, if you can take a pill, and that pill gives you the opportunity to win more gold medals and set records, but in exchange for it, it cuts 5 years of your life. Would you take it? And a lot of athletes said yes.
I was gonna
And,
say when asked, they said yes, right?
yeah, you heard of that, right? Yeah, yeah. And it was just
No, but I'm not surprised. I mean, most of what we do compromises our lifespan, really. I mean, and I'm pretty sure we're all very aware of it, but we're so willing to do it.
yeah. Because I know was it about almost 2 years ago we had Lisa Budget, Alina Havani. There was Jennifer Hernandez who I was talking with social media. I was hoping to do an interview with her. I mean, John Meadows. I mean, Sean Roden. His situation, yeah.
Roden, George Peterson, yeah.
Cedric Millen. I mean, it was just these, But that's the thing is that it's just if you look at guys like Flex Wheeler and Ronnie Coleman now. I mean, it's one of those side effects of when you decide to get in sport and take the extreme part of it and the things you have to do to get to that next level. We got here a man, I can't say his name, so can we get no, she's not gonna flex for you, dude. She missed it. There are too many divisions leading to the irrelevancy of WBB. Right to her views. Please ask her, sir. I want to know her take on that. And also he says rip to Alina. Yeah, rip to her. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, there's there's more women division as men's. If you think about it, I think a few years ago they tried to do men's fitness, but that didn't work out. No one see guys in short shorts jumping around. And I think
There was one.
yeah, I think like I said, like you have some player like fitness is the only one out there, and wellness is on its own. You have men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding. You have 212 physique, women's physique. You have men's classic physique, which is I would say is men's figure, is women's is like men's figure and women's figure, and you have men's physique. We have men's physique, which is more like bikini, and those divisions just have different aspects of themselves. As you remember, when bodybuilding started, it was just men's bodybuilding. Then the women came along,
Sure.
and then it wasn't long before I think the women already had fitness came, then figure, and then it wasn't that long after that, men's physique and 212 and the other divisions came. I mean, and it's about evolving. And as I said again, those divisions are starting to get really close. Like if you look at wellness, how those women kind of a lot of ladies either came from physique or figure or bikini, you know. And if you look at women's bodybuilding, I just saw some ladies announce that they're going to go up to women's bodybuilding, and physique was brought in to bring in that different look. But as I said again, those divisions are starting to meld. If you look at some figure competitors, where they're starting to look more closer to like physique competitors. If you look at like you look at Missy Trescott, how
It's the natural progression of the sport, right? In bodybuilding, I mean, with the exception probably of bikini, but figure, you're going to continually get bigger, right? Physique is going to continually get bigger, and there's a threshold, and once you're at that point, you go into the next division. If you don't, you have to modify your training so you don't keep gaining mass, right? And looking bigger and looking like the next division up, so the difference needs to occur on stage and at the judging level. And unfortunately, the level of conditioning that we're seeing being brought to all the divisions. I mean, we're seeing bikini girls with striated glutes, right?
Mhm.
You know, um, and the difference now between women's physique and bodybuilding, there's just one difference. We have more density and mass, right? We're thicker, but the conditioning's the same. Arguably, we see better conditioning in women's physique than we see in some bodybuilding shows, and some comparing the two. And take it back probably 5 years now at least. Juliana Malacarni, I think she won the Olympia 4 times,
4 times, yeah.
and she stepped down because she said this is not the division I went into. It was a softer look, and when they started promoting that harder look and awarding that harder look, Juliana said, "I'm done." And she had the most amazing, beautiful physique. She was the epitome to me of women's physique. And there was a definitive difference between it and women's bodybuilding, right?
Mhm.
So, the lines are very blurred. I would love to see a bigger difference come about between women's physique and bodybuilding, because it kind of, in my opinion, pushes women's bodybuilding. The only thing we have to stand apart and make it a different division now, because conditioning's all the same, is we just got to get bigger, bigger, bigger.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's the thing. The bigger part is that you have to take certain more heavier stuff. You have to train harder, you eat more, and and sometimes it's a risk because women's bodies are different compared to men. Men were meant to have muscle because our purpose was to hunt, to battle, to breed, and that's about it. Women, y'all supposed to be nurturing babies like that. But like I said, you're an athlete. You want to progress to that next level, and you said about the sacrifices that some people have to make. Honestly, especially for women. You know, it, I remember someone they say, "Hey, I don't menstruate anymore. I don't do this." And also like I said again earlier, how you get the more harder, more more manly features. But like I said again, like any athlete, if you want to get to the next level, you have to, do what you need to do. And when we talk about Paul McCarr, Shanique Grant, she had a great look to her, very, feminine, very young, very attractive. But then Sarah beat her, and then people think, oh, Natalia should have won those last couple of times, but it said again, the judges, they're the ones who have a lot of control. If you feel like okay, if you still want a more feminine featured female bodybuilder, should have kept Shanique. And like same thing with back in 2014 when they push out women's bodybuilding after 2014. Well, if you wanted a more feminine looking female bodybuilder, you could have gave it to Alina because Alina, even though Alina had an amazing body, she very feminine looks. If you didn't like Iris, you could have gave you Alina, and you could have got a champion. But it's just always a lot of stuff going on. Here, my man here, he says, but they like to cap women's bodybuilding, and they want to cap it, but and also he says, this might sound immoral, but I love physique to evolve and get big enough that it turns to women's bodybuilding, and the vision gets dissolved. Natalia could have, easily got third place after Angela Yo. I don't know, and I think there's one aspect that. Hmm?
I don't think I'd agree with that. Natalia is got an incredible physique. I love her to death. She's a wonderful person too, but she's definitely, there's a difference there in size and mass. She's women's physique. Conditioning again was incredible, but again, that's what they're looking for in both divisions, is that striated, glute look and that really super conditioning. So, um, I don't want to see them, get rid of either category. I just want to see a bigger difference between the two. So there's two true different divisions.
Mhm. I think the judges should put a guideline. Okay, I know they say don't try to put a cap, but like I said, make it asserted your cap. Like, okay, you feel like okay, if the more conditioned competitor in women's bodybuilding deserve to win, okay, deserve to win. Keep it with that level. But if you feel like the more softer, feminine looking woman deserves to win, then do that. Just keep changing back and forth.
I think it was a female bodybuilding channel that just commented that they're capping female bodybuilding. Um, but again, I think I've even had this discussion with them. It's not only about size. When we're talking about bodybuilding, it's size, symmetry, aesthetics, conditioning. There's multiple factors, right? So just because somebody's the biggest one on stage, sorry, they're not winning. Because if
Yeah,
that big physique, somebody else has better aesthetics, better shape, better muscle bellies. I just described Andrea, right? That's
yeah,
why Andrea is dominating our sport, and they're probably going to for several more years.
yeah.
This is our next Iris Kyle, right? I see Andrea 10 years. She doesn't get hurt, some type of injury. Andrea is dominating the Olympia and women's bodybuilding for a decade.
Yeah.
So it's not just about size. Granted, she brings great size as well, but she has all the pieces, right? So yes, bodybuilding for women is about size, but it's not the only component. There's certainly other ones that have just as much weight and or precedence.
Yeah, like a man JB said, you know how AJ like say he likes the big freaky chicks, and like I said, the big freaky chicks are really
Does,
pretty good. Like people like Anastasia Kovaleva, people like Natalia, Amazonka. I
and
can't say her
all
last
kinds
name.
of respect to Korbalieva and to Natalia. I mean, amazing, right? They're huge.
It's
They
huge.
put in their time, their effort, and they've built these incredible big physiques. But do they bring all the other pieces that satisfy the puzzle? So um, we would again. I love that those are other factors to women's bodybuilding. I mean, look at men's bodybuilding. If it was only about size, Nick Walker would have just won last weekend, right?
Hmm.
But it's not only about size. It's about shape. It's about having that small waist. So again, it's not just women's bodybuilding that size doesn't just take precedence, although kind of in the last couple of years with Rami it did, but we're seeing that trend change. So um, I just can't just emphasize enough that Andrea is the epitome of what women's bodybuilding is today.
Hmm.
She has every bit, every piece, and she's not even at her prime yet. I mean, this athlete's going to continue to improve. So, I think women's bodybuilding over the next several years is going to be very, very exciting to watch and unfold, and see if anybody is going to ever kind of knock Andrea off the top of that hill. I don't see it happening
No,
anytime soon.
no. I had guys say that, oh, somebody's gonna be, they say certain names. I say, no, hell no, she's not gonna be Andrea. Like, no, no, she's not gonna be Andrea. I love Hella. She's an amazing woman, but she's not gonna be Andrea. You love her, but like I said, about Andrea also is that she is beautiful. And that's the bonus, to have that. Like I said again, she has that great looks about her. She just, I got to see her at Savannah when she did the guest posing, and I mean, it was just great to see her. And Mona did the little, the pose off together, and both of them look great. But like I said again, it's about the aesthetics, symmetry, the conditioning.
I want to shout out to I think one of our really big future up and coming stars. She's already won the Tampa Pro last year. Was at the Olympia. Chelsea Dion.
Jason, oh yeah.
That girl's got all the pieces. She just needs time and size.
Hmm.
So watch her.
Yeah.
She's potentially one of those people that can in my opinion dominate in the sport.
Yeah, because I think she said she's going to take the year off. She's not
Yes.
competing this year. And you understand that. You want to grow. She has a great look to her about her. I mean, one thing with bodybuilding, if they can get like some kind of press managers and try to like one thing I would love to see someone like Andrea and Chelsea be on. I've talked about this with some friends. Say, yeah, Andrea and Chelsea do something like Good Morning America. Do NBC this morning. Get really some press out there.
I think it's a mainstream media that would be, yes, it would help so much. And
Yeah,
maybe that is an answer, George. That we need, agents, press, marketing management. All of us, we do it ourselves. It's social media. It's having an Instagram and a TikTok. That maybe that's something that would actually help if we had some professional marketing. But again, that takes money.
yeah. It takes money because
So
yeah.
so the guys, hey, support us. Let's get that kind of thing going.
Yeah, because I know there's some guys out there who are in the press world. You're undercover smokes. You're like that guy who like, I'm dating this chick, but I don't want nobody know I'm dating her. That's you undercover. We know it. But hey, all you gotta do is say, hey, Miss Shaw, Miss Dion, you're both beautiful women. You both have a great look to you. Let's get you on. Let's get you on ESPN or something. Let's try to get guys like Nick Walker, get guys like Heidi Chopin, get guys like Brian Curry. I saw a video of Blessing where he's sitting in a bathtub eating vegetables. He just that boy crazy. He got a lot of free time in his hand. We got here.
He's a great personality.
Yeah, we got here. Ryan Lake says hello, Gina.
Hey,
Also, we
right.
got here. Just do this exactly. It was only about size. Irene would have been the champion every year.
Yeah.
She's one for most muscular. Rick Lake says, Gina, when did you start bodybuilding? You already missed that. If you want to, you can watch it later in the playback. Also, female bottom Michelle. Let's see what counts in the future. Shout out to JB and also Ryan Lake. Have you thought about competing this year? If you have hadn't come in late, Ryan.
Catch up, lower, Ryan.
Yeah, she has retired. She's no longer competitive bodybuilding, but she is going to work behind the scenes. Also, she's a coach and a trainer. So if you're interested, in maybe getting trained, maybe working with maybe just not being a bodybuilder, maybe just try to set up a few pounds after the holidays, something like that, or whatever. Reach out to her. Social media stuff in the description. Check her out. Check her channel. She's an amazing lady. She has a great story. She has some great biceps. But guys, I'm going to tell you this. I know it's hard to, because you don't think with the head between your two shoulders like you're supposed to. You think of the head between your two legs. No deep hicks. Stop it. Get some help. Don't do that. Women don't like that shit. Come on. But like I said, we're not gonna hold you up, ma'am. I know, it's evening in Dubai. You want to get some sleep, and we do appreciate your time. But this is what I want to say again. If you're a fan of the sport of bodybuilding and in the women, be interested in supporting these ladies. Find someone like maybe there's a lot of amateur competitors. Amateurs, they don't make no money at all. It costs them more money to compete than a pro because they have to pay for interest fees. Arnold, they canceled that show last minute, and they only had 4 competitors for women's bodybuilding, and and for physique, and there was no pros. This was the first year.
Meet the quota.
Yeah, because it was so few. I know one lady, she won physique. I did an interview. Her name is Jaritza Upton. I did an interview with her last month, and I said congratulations to her. I thought she'd be a pro, but no, didn't meet the quota. And the thing is, when we give people the money back, and it's like $600-700, it's close to Christmas. Hey, and then I'm going to go eat some good food, and I'm going to spend some money on my family. But guys out there, and just people in general, if you're someone who is genuinely interested in seeing an athlete, progress in this sport, who wants to see them say, you know what, ma'am, I want you to see you grow and develop as a competitor. I don't want nothing else but that. I don't want to be that weird guy who's like saying, and I like say something. No, be someone who say like, I want to see this athlete grow and to succeed in their path. Be interested in their growth as an athlete. Don't be that weird guy who wants something for nothing, who wants something out of them, but not really willing to give them anything to support them. Be that person like Ms. Cavaliero. I want to see you grow as an athlete. I want you to succeed. So if you need anything from me, let me know. Come together and support these ladies. It looks like there's maybe, I don't know, from things we're going in now, they might push out bodybuilding again. And maybe I don't know, maybe somebody step up. If we can get like some mainstream sponsors of the back women's bodybuilding, that could help. But we all know it's just it's difficult. It's tough.
Just need like Nike or Under Armour to support it, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, because I know there's quite a few of you competitors use some of that stuff, and I mean, Nike, Puma, somebody like that. If you can get them,
I mean, there's tons of stuff out there.
Yeah, if you get the big mainstream companies to back it like they do with the major sports, that will probably help in the long run financially. Yeah. Well, folks, as I said again, I do appreciate Miss Calvillo taking the time out and sharing her story with us. We all wish her well in her path as now, as a coach and a trainer. We got here, this is from saying Gina is doing a great job coaching. That's from the Female Bodybuilding channel. Also, this is from here. Please ask her about Ashley Jones. UK, my bias, for her, my bias for her. Well, like I say, Ashley Jones, she looks like she might be going up. I know I saw Melissa Tykes say she might be going up. I think it's, I don't think Ashley might need some more time to develop because she's still young. But from what I see from Melissa Tyke, she really, I think she's a little bit older, and when she trains heavy. Because I had a friend, he was at a event where they were doing like a women's powerlifting thing, and she took second. But like I said, it's about the process in this sport. It's not about what pills you take, how much weight you lift. It's about getting up in the morning, sometimes doing cardio, sometimes working, like you got to do leg day. Because I know sometimes leg day, you like the episode of Chappelle Show when Eddie Murphy and Charlie beats up Rick James' leg. What about Eddie Murphy? But it's about the process of this. It's not easy. If anybody can do it, they should do it. But the fact is, it's about you being an athlete and being focused on your goals. And I think, like I said, that's why I'm a fan of you ladies, and that's why on my channel I give y'all respect and give y'all acknowledgement for what you'll put yourself through. And like I said, I wish all the best for you. Now, while we're here, you have anybody you want to shout out to, family, friends, something like that?
Um, well, all my fans, and so many people reached out to me after my news about retiring and support, um, you know, and it's as much as we have I don't even like the term schmoes. I use it with endearment because they are truly the supporters of female bodybuilding. So I appreciate everybody out there that's supported my whole career and supporting my transition. So I know some of y'all are sad that you won't see me on stage, but you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be in bodybuilding and in the sport for the long haul. So definitely as a coach, I love coaching. I've got incredible athletes that I'm blessed to work with, and I'm sure there'll be many more. So.
Well, I remember this is what I know. You know Cheryl Foose, and she told me this when I said the word smoke. She said, "We're not smokes, we're friends." That's what she told me that. And as a friend, I will miss you, competing. But like I said, hey, we still got videos and pictures. We can see it anytime. But we want to see you be healthy. This sport's always going to be here. You
Thank you.
know,
And
yeah.
I'm not gonna stop training, so you're gonna still see me training. You're still see
Mm.
me flexing. Still gonna look like a bodybuilder. That's never gonna change. So just
And
be
like I
real.
said, yeah. And like I said, you should live for you. Don't live for us. Live for yourself. Life is short. It's precious. And you should enjoy as much as you can as long as you can. But like I said, as fans, we generally want to see y'all ladies succeed and have a place in this sport. Women's bodybuilding, as you know, as for many years has always, as I said again, have been walk quiet behind them and stab in the heart. And we as fans, we support you, we follow you, we follow your social media. If we can do a lot more, we would love to do more for you. But like I said again, I have a voice here, and that's why I do interviews so your ladies can share your voice with us. For people who don't understand what this is about to be a competitor, what it's about to be a woman in this sport, and to understand what it takes to get to that next level. But it's about respect for you. As I said again, we do get a particular pickle when y'all see y'all on the stage shredded and buffed and vascular. But we do understand that you're an athlete, you're a woman, and we should remember that part most of all.
Appreciate that.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
you, George.
Now I know this is one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies again, Batman Begins, when I like talk. I know KL and the rest of them don't like me talking about it, but hey, I love Batman. It's a great movie. When at the end of the movie, when Jim Gordon turns to Batman, and says, "You know what? I forgot to thank you," and Batman says, "You never have to." So anyway, folks, I'd like to thank the lovely Miss Gina Cavaliero for coming through and sharing her story with us. Also, like my man Ryan Lake coming through, the Female Bodybuilding Channel, JB and AJ. Also, my man Balls Deep, Lawrence Perkins, Sean McMillan, God's Will, Omar Costa. Everybody who watched this video, if you missed it, KL, The Wonder, anybody watch it, missed it, you watch it later. If you're, like I said again, if you are someone who has the means and the way, support the athlete. Also, if you're somebody, or if you are people who, like I said, you want to see female bodybuilding to have a stage or a platform, reach out to these promoters. If you want to be a sponsor of an athlete, be genuine in your sponsorship. Don't be that weird guy. Don't be that weird guy. These ladies, like I said again, respect them as women and athletes, and and see their sport. Right here we got you know, tweet done. Oh, he's gonna tweet he's gonna tweet the video. Thank you, AJ. I mean
Thank you.
JB. And also he said thank you, Gina. And like I said, good luck to you, ma'am. Enjoy your time. Say hello to your friends and family. If you say if you see Hella, say hello to her because I think she has an amazing body. I ain't gonna lie. There's one picture of her where she wear a mask, and it's like what you're doing. It's like, oh my god. I took one time. I took it and made fixed her thing in it and sent it to her. She really loved that. And I really appreciate you too. I just like I said. I know what you're going through. I've been through it myself. But like I said, as long as you're still here and standing, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, like I say, I'd like to thank the lovely Miss Gina Cavaliero, and I also like to thank all the people coming through. Like, comment, subscribe, share this content, and support my channel and support these women a sport of bodybuilding. This is me all the way to page, aka Emperor Female Women Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yes. Thanks. Bye.